CBS Radio as well. We have got a great guest coming up here in just a few moments. But before we do that, let's tell you about one of our fantastic new marketing partners, the Transmedia Worldwide Indiegogo campaigns. Oh, yeah, we've got a good one for you. Racor Link. Right now, 100 West power delivery, 10 Gbps data speed, multi-platform compatible. Oh yeah, that's Racer Link. Racing. It's the Racor Link. Calling all the beta testers. Join us over at Indiegogo.com. That's INDEGOGO.com. That's right, Indiegogo.com. INDIEGOGO.com. Search Racor Link. That's REYSORLINK. And tell them you heard about it here. Transmedia Worldwide. It's Racor Link. Okay, now that bullshit's over, we have got Alan K. Patch with us today. akpatchauthor.com is the official website. Check it out today. It's akpatchauthor.com. Alan's books are over there. They are fantastic, and they make great reads. And Alan joins us today here on the telephone. And we're talking about heroism today with the good doctor. And heroism is not limited to the human race. One of the most famous birds in history is credited with saving hundreds of American lives at WW1. Here today is author AK Patch to tell us about it and what happened in the October of 1918. Give us your take on this, Alan. Tell us the story.
All right. Great to be back with you, Jiggy, as usual, last Thursday.
Yes.
Well, anyway, listen, I like to mix it up for your audience, with different aspects of history and, science and even current events. But let's go back to World War I. If you remember, World War I cost us, the United States, over 116,000 of our guys, of our troops, men, women, in a period of about a year and a half. I mean, those are horrific numbers. And if you read about how we sent our troops into these battles sometimes, without artillery support and frontal assault, it's a gut punch to read about it. It makes you realize, all the more about the courage of our troops during that time. Well, in the later part of the war, remember the war ended in November of 18, but back in October of 18, one of our battalions of Army troops got caught behind German lines in the Meuse-Argonne Forest. And this is the famed Lost Battalion. So 550 men started running out of food and ammunition, and they lost communication with the Army command. And so, back in those days, they would send out runners, but all the runners were killed or captured. So the Major, Charles Whitney, he starts to send out messenger pigeons. And the Germans quickly shoot down 2 of them. So the messages don't get through. At the same time, the American artillery starts bombing this area and shelling it, and they're killing their own guys. And so now they're desperate, and they're trying to stop that artillery fire and let the American Army know where they are.
Alan K. Patch with us today. Check out akpatchauthor.com. For more information, that's Alan K. Patch. He's with us today. akpatchauthor.com is the official website. Check it out today. And so, Alan, continue on here. This is an incredible story.
You think about this. So anyway, they send out another bird. It's a blackjack cock carrier pigeon named Cherami. And it's one of 600 birds that were donated by Britain and trained by the U.S. Army Signal Corps. I mean, think about this. Television, the telephone lines can be cut. It's still kind of primitive. And so they're still relying on carrier pigeons, which the French still relied on carrier pigeons during their version of the Indochina War, Vietnam, back in Dien Bien Phu, which is back in early 1950s. But they still use carrier pigeons even then. But at this particular time, we had a bunch of birds that we trained, and this particular bird, Cherami, had already delivered 12 messages on previous missions. So anyway, they load the message, into a little capsule on the bird's leg. They send it away, and they want to stop the barrage and let the American Army know where they are. So the Germans start firing to kill the bird, which they did previously. They see it, fly up, and they start shooting at it. the bird gets scared and goes into a tree. And one of the reports is that a guy had to go up there and shoot away to get it to try to deliver the message. Well, the Germans fired it all again, and it hit the bird in the breast and in the leg, and they say was blinded on top of it. But somehow this bird made it 25 miles in a little over an hour, badly wounded, and its leg dangling by a tendon. But it still delivered the message, Jiggy. And it helped to save. There was only 194 guys left living out of that battalion, and the medics did their best to save the bird, and they did, and they made a wooden leg for it.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live, Alan K. Patch, with us on our big program. And coast to coast, border to border on TuneIn, iTunes, and Radio Loyalty, and casterbox.fm as well. And this is an incredible story. By the way, check out akpatchauthor.com. For more information, go to Alan K. Patch online. Now, where did this whole thing end up?
Well, this bird's a hero now. I mean, even General Pershing, who's the commanding officer of the whole American Army over there, he when the bird was put on a ship and sent back to the United States, he was there to see the bird off. This is how much they were appreciative of Cher Ami's work there. So he's decorated with all these French and American medals, and he ends up in Monmouth, New Jersey, but dies pretty soon thereafter on June 13th of 1919. All right, so what they do sometimes afterwards is they get the taxidermist so they can mount the bird, and they discovered it wasn't a male, it was a female. But anyway, Cher-Ami now stands in the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Now, I didn't know about this on my last trip to D.C., but if I go back, I'm definitely going to go and look up the display so I can take a look at Cher-Ami.
We have got Alan K. Patch with us today. Now, Alan, talk to us about your books.
Well, I always welcome your listeners to read the Time Travel Adventure series I've published. It's a trilogy and involves a team of professors that are thrown into an ancient war as training for a devastating attack that's coming on the U.S. in our near future. What they would do is they would go to Amazon and type in Passage at Delphi. That's the first book of the trilogy. And look, this is meat and bones history, some romance, military, advanced science with a twist, and kind of a look to the future. And it's $2.99 on Kindle. So hours of entertainment. It's fun for me to blend all this history with current events. And that's the job of an author, Jiggy. Take the readers on an adventure and maybe to a place they never thought of. In this place, I'm involving the ancient world and in the near future. So, interesting read. Now, the new book I'm working on, which I haven't talked much about yet, but I will in succeeding segments, actually involves the carrier pigeon, but in a completely different way that you might think. And the book starts at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. So I'll tell you more about that in succeeding shows.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you making time for us today, and we look forward to hearing more from you. Alan, have yourself a wonderful weekend, my friend.
I will, Jiggy, and that was a very interesting interview you had with the previous offer.
Yes. Sophie is fantastic, and look forward to talking to her more as we go down the road. Alan, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, my friend.
Same to you, Jiggy.
Appreciate it. There he and her both.